Okay, testing. 1, 2, 3. That's not a good way to start a video, is it, with a num? I've been meaning to do this for a while, but 2024 started and I wanted to do my own YouTube channel. So the intro, the journey begins. I've had my own son and I realised I wanted a way to talk about things that are of interest to me. So first I'll start with who the audience is. It's not for absolutely everyone and anyone, because I'll be speaking about a couple of specific things. If you like my content, then yeah, feel free to keep watching, but I wanted to engage people who are into anime, manhwa, manga, Netflix, comics, TV shows, movies, and video games. Those are things I'm mostly interested into, and I can't voice my opinion to the whole audience every day. I speak to a couple of friends or family here and there about it. Shout out to my niece who gave me the tripod stand. This is a very budget and makeshift low-key video. She gave me the tripod and I'm using my phone camera and earbuds, so the quality probably isn't the best, but I wanted to, just give it a go and see how it goes. I've got a lot of knowledge on those aforementioned topics and I wanted to kind of take my time with it. So in terms of the channel name, I'm actually looking for suggestions. I've got a couple of ideas in mind. The BeeHerd is the first one, like a beehive, but actually to be heard. So the reason for that is as I don't get to voice my opinion out about a lot of reviews or content that I look at. So you guys can be part of the hive and you can give me your opinions, your suggestions. I'm all up for that. But that's why I thought the BeeHerd. But I think the other two names I'm probably leaning more towards. One is SenpaiShaam. My name is Hisham, so SenpaiShaam makes sense, as in notice me senpai. I'm probably older than your average YouTuber, getting on 33, 34 now, and a father of one. So SenpaiShaam is the first thing. I like a lot of alliteration. The second name was RamblingRaja. Rambling because I tend to waffle and ramble a lot, as you can probably already tell. Raja is my surname and Raja means king, so Rambling King sounded apt. But yeah, the three options I'd like you to nominate or vote on are BeeHerd, SenpaiShaam or RamblingRaja. Now, I've talked about how the journey is beginning. The date is the 22nd of January 2024, and this is my first video, and apologies for the jankiness or the low quality, but I wanted to give it a go. In terms of what I'll be reviewing, it's kind of like a blog, not a vlog per se, because I'm not going to be recording my daily activities in life. It's pretty normal for a 33-year-old man in the UK, just kind of work life and gym and family. But what I wanted to review were anime, which I watch a lot of. So for those who don't know, anime is Japanese cartoon, but it's not exclusive to Japanese. I'm open to watching a lot of cartoons. I've watched a lot of cartoons since the 90s because I'm a 90s kid. So anime is one. Manhwa, manga, manhwa, however you want to phrase it, they're basically comics from different parts of Southeast Asia, so Japan, Korea, China. I read a lot of them, and I want to give you my views and opinion on those, and Netflix cartoons as well. So you'll have a difference between anime, which is strictly from Japan, and you have Western production or cartoons that adopt an anime style. But I've been watching since the 90s, I'm watching recent stuff, I'm watching ongoing seasons. So those are things that I wanted to kind of comment on. I used to read a lot of comics back in the day, specifically the Marvel and DC type. I'm not as up to date, but I still like to give my view on superheroes and supervillains and kind of my childhood and kind of what I think is cool, or occasionally I'll see things on Google News, like things like Screen Run or comic book reviews where they bring up current storylines or cool developments for characters. So that's another thing I wanted to talk about. TV shows, movies, pretty standard, and video games as well. So video games, I'm only on a PS4, which is, as my Warzone friends know, I've got a lot of data corrupted hard drive issues at the moment, but I do like keeping up to date with latest games and trends. I think my nephews and nieces are probably way ahead of me in terms of games. My nephew comes and plays God of War a lot. He's completing that more than I have, but I do still like keeping up to date with games. So yeah, a lot of these updates will be from Google News, and I'll try and review, giving my opinion or giving my thoughts on those types of content. This is going to be a shameless plug. If there's any products or sponsors who want to be part of the channel, then yeah, feel free to get in touch. I'm happy to review any product, as long as it's not too adult. But yeah, I love to receive freebies and swag. In my own professional life, I love going to events and getting all the freebies and swag as much as I can. But yeah, if you've got a product or you'd like to sponsor the video, then yeah, that'd be great too. Now, why am I doing this? Yeah, I mentioned already, I'm a 90s kid, so I have a lot of history or upbringing around this sort of area. And like I mentioned, it's not something I could speak openly about to a lot of people. Nowadays, yes, there's more mainstream appeal to it. Occasionally have a work conversation with the younger colleagues or with friends who are willing to listen. But yeah, there's a lot of things that I've grown up with and still continue to this day where I've not had an outlet or event to be able to talk to my wider audience. I have no audience right now, but as in I love to just get out my thoughts and opinions because I have been consuming a lot of anime, gaming, TV, movie sort of content over the years. I'd like to give a shout out to some of the inspirations I've had. Trash Taste probably being the first one, so shout out to Joe Bazinga, the anime man, Giguk or Grant from the UK, and we all know he used to work for the BBC, and Dog VA. Voice acting is something that I like to actually get into at some stage. I remember going on honeymoon with my missus and I was reading a museum kind of subtext on one of the paintings or pictures, and I remember a random person coming in saying, "You've got a really great voice, you should read this." So yeah, Dog VA, if you've got any shout outs for voice acting, I'd love to get involved in that. But no, I want to shout out these guys because they started the kind of anime podcast, even though they weren't talking a lot about anime, and the reason they're a great group of friends and appreciate they want to go in different directions. But I noticed whether it was either on their main channels or in Trash Taste, there wasn't a lot of anime content, and that's one thing that I'm not an expert. I think I am a weeb, but I wouldn't say I'm an in-depth analysis sort of person on every single anime episode, but I still want to give them a shout out because I feel like they gave me the inspiration, motivation to give this a go. The second one is probably Jeremy Jahns. I really like his short form content for movie and video games as well. He does it standing up. I think I have a similar haircut and beard to him, but I just think Jeremy Jahns' way of presenting and pitching is really cool, so I wanted to emulate him to a degree. And Grand Line reviews. So I do like One Piece. You can probably tell from the hat. The Pirate King is a nod to becoming the Pirate King, Kaizoku Nano. I probably said that completely wrong. I'm trying to spitball as much as I can here, but Grand Line Reviews is probably another inspiration. I think he's from Australia, but he's a cool guy who kind of does his thing about reviewing each episode of One Piece or each issue of One Piece. But these are just a couple of inspirations. I probably watch more YouTube than I watch terrestrial TV, so especially for the UK. Barely watch Sky these days, but I do watch a lot of YouTube, and I'm sure there's a whole host of others who I watch. People like Chunks and Philly, who are completely UK related and not anime related, but people who I respect and rate. But I watch a lot of YouTube, and there's a lot of people on there who are great content creators, great personalities. I'm subscribed to a number. Hey Man Reviews for food, halal food in the UK. Just a couple of shouts out. It's a very shameless plug for these people and just get a bit more coverage as well. But yeah, there's probably a whole load of list of people I'm not mentioning right now, but those are the ones that first come to mind. And then following from that is, like I mentioned earlier, I want my opinion to be heard. Not that I'm bottling this deep down inside. I thought about doing a written blog, but I find communicating verbally and audibly is probably easier than typing this all out. I did get an A at GCSE, never continued it, far from that, but I love to actually tell people who are interested, people who want short snippets of content to actually find someone to recommend them anime and the likes from there. It's an experiment, so this could easily fail. I'm in sales myself, or tech sales specifically. You have to be outside your comfort zone, do things that you don't enjoy doing. There's nothing wrong with being a fool, there's nothing wrong with failing. So this is just an experiment for me to try, and I wanted to give it a go and just see if I can get any kind of interest, or see if there are people interested in following. Obviously success would be a great criteria. Success for me just means getting some kind of viewership, some kind of subscriber, trying to diversify the kind of content I do. And one thing I like to mention is I'm more than happy to take suggestions, critique, criticism, harsh comments. I want to learn, I want to develop. Like I said, this is very much from my Samsung Galaxy Note Ultra 20, so it's an older phone but it's still decent, with my Jabra Elite 3 earphones. Any editing, I've got an editing software that I'm going to try and play with, but this is very much the raw footage of episode 0, I'd say. And yeah, I just want to give it a go and see how it goes. In terms of success, yeah, I mentioned growing the user base or the audience base. I like to diversify, give other things. One thing, I'm not as young as I used to be, but people mention Clout a lot. I'm not too fussed about Clout and that sort of thing. I love, obviously, positive affirmation or positive reinforcement. I don't see myself becoming anything massive. It's just kind of something I wanted to do, just to give me a side hustle or something to try and do to, just give my opinions out. I guess the biggest part is creativity. I'm not the creative one, obviously. The people who are providing me the content, the artists, the creators, the writers, the production, all of these people who do all this great work to actually create something original, unique IP, those are the ones who deserve all the shout out. But personally, I do have a creative side to me. Maybe it's not that creative, but things like Gunpla, building Gundam models, crystal puzzles or crystal models, arts and crafts, those sorts of things. But also I used to love acting back in the day. I was part of the National Youth Theatre, never went anywhere, but I do have a creative element to me, so just thought this might be another good avenue to try. Now, I'm probably getting very far ahead of myself. If anyone comments, I'd be super grateful, but I will try and reply to every comment as much as I can. And when, this is probably the hardest one, is when am I planning on uploading? So that's the second poll or second involvement I like from you guys. What would you like me to next comment on? I've got obviously lots of things I can talk about, but the next two things that are on my mind, probably the easiest ones, are One Piece or Pokemon. So if you could decide between One Piece and Pokemon, that'd be great. I look to upload about once a week if possible, depending on work schedule and family commitments, but it could be more because I've got a lot of ideas, which I'll talk about a bit later. Where will this be? I'm not a Twitch streamer yet. I don't think people want to be involved in Twitch directly with me just as yet. I don't even know how to get started, but I just wanted to record this video. So it would just be YouTube only to start. And then other things that I like talking about, I play Dungeons and Dragons. I actually play in Reading at a bar called BeeHerd, where they do a weekly or fortnightly campaign on a Tuesday night, which is great. So anyone in the Reading area get involved. They also do one-shots aside from the campaign every other week too. I'm all into superhero and supervillains, maybe something to do with my psychology. I did study a little bit of psychology at university. I'm into Japanese culture. I'm into Bollywood massively as well. It's probably my number one genre when it comes to playlists of music. I won't comment on the current state of Bollywood at the moment, but if there's a good Bollywood film that I like the look of, I'm happy to kind of give my comments on that or opinion. But yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to cover today. In terms of things that I'm thinking about doing, like I mentioned, there's current anime, so the season's anime that's currently out, which I won't talk about today, but current season anime that I'm watching and what I think of it. Then there's Netflix anime, which there are some historic and there's some new, which I'd like to talk about as well. Then there are loads of manga or manhwa and manhwa that I've already read that I think are worth a read. Then there are ones that I'm currently reading that are ongoing, and then there are ones that I've parked and stuff. So those are things I like to talk about as well. But if anyone's got any suggestions or comments or things that I may have missed, then yeah, please do give me a shout. But that's kind of my initial ideas for the initial content. But yeah, starting from the two polls or the two audience involvement and contribution I like is, number one, what we'd like the channel to be called. We've got BeeHerd, as in BeeHerd, like a beehive or a cow herd. And then there's SenpaiShaam, or there's RamblingRaja. And then the second thing I'd like you to comment on is what should be my episode 1 should be about. Should be my views on One Piece or should be my views on Pokemon? And again, I'm not the expert, as there are a number of YouTubers who are a lot more knowledgeable and go into the detail like me. This is just like a standard or a casual weeb, you might say, who's kind of into these things. This is just my view, and maybe it will help someone who's looking, younger or older, who wants to get into the scene or wants to find out what next to watch. But yeah, Pokemon or One Piece. But yeah, I think that's it. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed episode 0. Again, sorry if it was a bit rambly and a bit waffly, but hopefully you enjoyed it. And yeah, I appreciate all of your comments, likes and subscribes on this episode 0. I'm not expecting a lot, but if you've got any feedback, any suggestions, that would mean the world to me. And again, hope you all have a great 2024, and thank you again. Take care. Bye.